Hey, what's going on, guys? Today, actually, we're not going to talk about politics for once. It's actually, I want a reprieve from politics because, honestly, it's wearing me out. I tuned out the last couple of days because I'm so sick of looking at the most ridiculous headlines. I had to spend all this time uh, looking into whether it's true or not because that's how you would figure out what's actually happening because there's so much fake news and people are posting ridiculous headlines. People are posting stuff that Trump has actually done versus just hyperbole and flat out lying, and you have to spend all this time figuring out whether it's true or not. And I 2 days ago, no, I'm sick of doing that. I'm fucking sick of doing that. So I'm just gonna tune out and talk about something else. So we're gonna talk about the culture in Hollywood the last several years about heavily depending on sequels and remakes. Now, I hate how Hollywood, I guess it was around, I don't know, 2009, 2010, this trend started, where original movies weren't banking as much. They weren't making as much money because people weren't sure if they're going to like it or not. You know, it was during the recession, it was really bad, you know, so they cut out excess spending, and one of the first things that goes is movies because movies are so expensive. So if there was an original movie that had no ties with anything, no culture, no media prior to that, then they wouldn't bother going to the movies. They would save up their money to go to movies about something they already know, like a remake or a sequel from a movie they already liked. And now they just take it into the extreme where the vast majority of movies being made, especially in the drama and like action movies, like the main movies, not like comedy or horror or, you know, the smaller genres, overwhelmingly are remakes or sequels. People cannot make up their own ideas, or if they can, Hollywood doesn't fund it. You know, the director doesn't get the budget for it because, well, I'm not sure if they'll make a profit, so I don't want to invest in it. We're going to invest in something else that's more profitable. So that's why you get all of these fucking sequels and remakes, just one after the other. And it's just like, can I find an original movie to watch? There's some, excuse me, mostly like in the comedy genre, like the Horrible Bosses and We're the Millers and then the Sausage Party, like all those. Flicks are all original. There's not a lot of remakes of comedies, but I'm talking about like all of the superhero movies. Like they're making a ton of fucking Wolverine sequels. Like how many times are we gonna see Hugh Jackman get angry and fucking kill someone? I'm so fucking sick of it. It's so boring. It's not cool. I've already seen it a million times. Let's see. They remade Spider-Man a third time. So we had the Tobey Maguire ones in the early 2000s, then we had the Andrew Garfield one in 2010s, and now they're going to remake a new one. So in our lifetime, we have already seen 3 remakes of the Spider-Man series. I'm just like, can't you guys come up with an original idea? I'm so fucking sick of seeing Spider-Man. I just don't care. And then really got this trend going even worse than it already was that Disney is remaking lots of its original animated movies into live-action movies. Like they already did Cinderella. They did Maleficent sort of counts because it was a prequel, and now they're doing Beauty and the Beast, and they're rumored to do Mulan and Lion King. And that just irritates the living hell out of me. It's like, Disney, you have sold out. You cannot come up with original ideas. I know most of the animated movies are based off of old legends, but I still count that as original work because they're just taking inspiration from original work and then they're making a completely new story with different characters, different settings, whatever, whatever. Like Lion King was based off of Hamlet, but they're lions in Africa. Okay, so it takes some creative juice to make these movies, and they were really good. So that's fine to take inspiration from something else, excuse me, and make your own spin on it. But when they are making exact remakes, like Cinderella, they already have it, and now they're remaking it. Nothing much changes. You know, the dialogues are different. You know, it's not scene by scene the same, but it's basically the same story. And it's just like, you already made this video. It's just animated. Who the hell cares if it's animated versus non-animated? It's the same fucking movie. Come up with your original ideas. Now, it's not just the fact that people are lazy and don't want to come up with their new stuff, so they just bank on they bank off the success of older works, and then they say, oh yeah, we're gonna make a profit because we know that people who like Cinderella back then, a certain percentage of them are gonna go to this one, so we know we can make a profit, so we'll get the investment we need to make the movie. So it's part laziness and part it's not profitable. Like I would assume, I would give the benefit of the doubt, there are some directors in Hollywood that want to make original movies, but they don't get the funding because the investors think it's not profitable because, well, it's a new thing, people don't know what it is, they're going to go see this other movie, You know, so it's a combination of those two that's stifling new creative works in Hollywood. And that just irritates the hell out of me. I mean, the movies in the most of the movies in the 70s are kind of dated, but they're still good. But 80s and 90s, early 2000 movies were like the pinnacle of movies. The vast majority of my favorite movies were during that time. And I just look at the movies that come out nowadays, I'm just like, how far have we sunk that these videos just suck? They're so boring. Almost all of it's CGI. It's all blue screen. They don't go to location. They don't go on set. Or if they do, it's very minimal. And it's just like, you're so lazy. And the pinnacle of all this laziness and just banking off the success of past people and not putting the original idea of your own is a Beauty and the Beast one that they're coming out with Emma Watson, where many of the scenes, all the scenes I've seen, like the previews, is shot by shot the exact same as the animated movie. And that's even more lazy than before. Like Cinderella, it wasn't scene by scene, line by line, the exact same thing. But Beauty and the Beast, what it looks like, that's exactly what it is. They are doing the exact same thing as the animated movie, but they're just doing it live action. I'm just like, not only are you so lazy that you can't put your own spin on a movie that's already been made, but you're saying, okay, we're going to do exactly the same thing. That's just being even more lazy than before, which I didn't know was possible. I didn't think that this would be profitable to do a movie scene by scene the exact same way, and people would like it. But I know I'm in the minority in this opinion. I know the vast majority of people love all these superhero movies and love all these remakes and love all these sequels, and they just think it's so awesome. That's why these movies make a lot of money, because the vast majority of people like them. But me, I mean, I'm gonna be a little hipster here and say I'm going against the culture. You know, I'm going against the mainstream. Mainstream sucks. It's like, no, I don't. Beauty and the Beast was fine as an animated movie. There's no fucking reason to put it as a live action movie when you know it's not going to be as good. The only reason why it's going to make a profit is because people like the animated movie and they're like, oh, let's just see this because I liked it before, so let's see it now. It's just like, that is such a cop-out. Make up your own story about a girl in medieval Europe and there's a monster involved and a prince and spells and magic. Make up your own fucking story. So that is why, personally, me, I boycott these movies. I don't see them in theaters. I don't buy them or anything like that because, hey, this is capitalism. This is my consumer choice. I am saying I don't want these products to be successful. I want this to stop. I'm showing that I do not support these, so I'm not buying them. I only go see movies that are original. I do see sequels because that's still original. Like, it's still original line continuing from the first one, so that sort of counts. But when you're like Fast and Furious 7, it's just like, that's a bit overkill. It's ridiculous. You are running this thing to the ground and taking them all, sucking it for all it's worth, you know, until the last one's going to be completely horrible. But the producers and directors will be fine because they made all this money already. So that's why I try to make an effort to see original movies, even if I'm not particularly interested in, like, Jupiter Ascending. I thought looked really good, and I saw it and it was just sort of okay, you know, but I had no problem renting the movie because it was an original work. It was just like, oh my god, these are so rare. A sci-fi movie, like a drama, a thriller, actually an original work. I couldn't believe it. It wasn't fucking Star Trek, you know, this, oh my god, Star Trek sucks so bad. So stupid. It was a Total Recall that came out a couple years ago. I think Chris Pine was the main guy. I forget exactly. I didn't pay any attention to it because it's like that. It's one of my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. And they go ahead and put this little wimpy guy. I think he was Chris Pine, like this small little white boy with some buzz cut, and he looked like he was like 15 years old. He's trying to act all badass, you know, because Total Recall, he shoots up a bunch of people and gets in lots of fight stuff. And it's like, you think that you can be tougher than Arnold Schwarzenegger? That's hilarious. That is just. You can do better than him when you're like 1/3 of his size, and you don't look intimidating at all. No, that movie, the movie was a complete failure, and I don't think it did very good because I don't hear anyone talking about it ever in the history of the world. So that just shows you that you only should remake movies when you think you can do better than the original. That new Total Recall was not better than the original. I can just tell by the previews. It's like, this looks so stupid. I could be wrong. I mean, there's movies with bad previews that are really good, but that's really rare. So in conclusion, that's the summary of this video. I don't like remakes unless you think you can do better than the original, but these people don't even try to do that. They just bank off the success of past people. I like sequels a little bit, but when you're on the 7th one or like the 8th of a spin-off series of the original, which was 5 movies before then, so you're 13 movies into the series, like X-Men had a bunch of movies and then they branched off and did a lot of Wolverine stuff. Just like, Okay, enough is enough already. Stop beating a dead horse. Just make up your own fucking movies, some creative thoughts. I know that's hard. That's why not a lot of people can make up stories for books and movies. But fucking try. Make good shit like you did in the 80s, 90s, and the 2000s.